Hi, welcome back to Coffee and Candor. This is Brandy,
Amber,
Chris,
and Ross.
Today we're talking about depression. Depression is one of those things that I hope it's not something that affects you, but I promise that if it doesn't affect you, it affects people you know and care about. Unfortunately, for something so common, I think it's really not very well understood, and so many of the things that people, our natural knee-jerk reactions aren't helpful. I don't think they're not, like people say, well, have you just tried being happy?
Yeah, because that works.
No shit, Sherlock. God, I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Or, and I don't think they say those things out of malice or because, I think it's because it's so big and it's so overwhelming and our hearts want to help, but we don't know how. And, I mean, this is something that we deal with here at everybody at this table, both individually as a group and on the outside, people we deeply care for struggle mightily with it.
Being part of a support system.
Yeah, I mean, so it is. You want to help, but you don't know what to do. You don't know how. And I just thought we'd talk about it today, and maybe we could make somebody realize that there is no shame. I know there's a stigma, but there shouldn't be, because nobody gets looked down on for having asthma, and so
I look down on them.
Well, it's because you're a judgy bitch, but
I am.
But really, I mean,
fucking asthmatics,
loser asthmatics. I'm an asthmatic, by the way. But so
I'm not, but I am a judgy bitch.
True that. But yeah, so like, why is there a stigma on mental illness and depression or anxiety? And, I get so pissed off when I see those memes. This isn't an antidepressant, and it shows a pill, and it shows trees. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you.
Well,
very much.
Well, hold on, but number one, depression is not... there are multiple types of depression. Yeah, all right. Going out into nature may be great for situational depression.
Well, and
but for clinical chemical depression, like you have a chemical imbalance,
right?
That's not going to work.
Well, no,
it may work sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah. But it's not the treatment.
Is not going to work. I mean, and will being out in nature and seeing life and stuff help lift your mood? Probably. It, certainly sitting in a dark room alone or sleeping
20 hours
excessively, or hiding away. Those are all things that exacerbate. And I get it, because I fight those battles too. And I think what's so hard.
Well, those are bad coping mechanisms,
right,
is what they are. They're destructive coping.
Right,
coping
and I think what's really hard and so frustrating is because our instincts, the things that we want to do when we're down, are actually the things that are worse for us. Like isolation. It is, once you get in your head, it is so hard to get out when you don't have anybody to help, and
hell, it's hard to get out when you do have someone to help.
Right, but the longer you isolate and withdraw,
then it becomes a habit.
And it just becomes so much harder, because the only dialogue you're hearing is the internal dialogue.
And that is the worst.
Because it's not your friend when you're in a dark place. And, so... I don't know.
We should lump anxiety in with that, because you guys deal with depression. Mm-hmm. I deal with anxiety.
I get to deal with both.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do too. but anxiety is the prominent one for me, which, if you deal with anxiety long enough, it turns into depression.
Well,
because after a while, it's like there's this oh my God, I'm never going to feel normal again, and that's not a great place to be either.
Mm-mm. No, I mean, anything you deal with on the chronic is it's disheartening. It's hard. Bad things are always suck, but when they're temporary blips in the road, you're like, I got this, this, I can roll over this.
Yeah, when you can see that light.
The end in sight. But when things become chronic, I don't care if it's medical, mental, whatever, that's a whole nother animal, and it takes different strategies. And like if you're just down, if you've just got the blues for a day, shit, yeah, lay in bed, eat some ice cream, indulge yourself, because tomorrow's different. But
when it becomes, I've had the blues for 6 months,
or a
then
year,
that's a problem.
or 20 years, or
then that is. Something has to change.
Yeah, because it becomes a vicious cycle, and how do you break it? And I don't know, I've watched so many people that I truly, truly love
fall victim to it.
Fight it every day. And I've seen some win, I've seen some lose, and I worry about where the others are going. And I want them to know that they're loved. And, I think one of the most important things you can do for your mental health is get yourself a tribe. But then once you do, you have to let them love you. Mm-hmm. They can't love you enough to pull you out. They can, oh God, I promise you, if they love you, they'll put that hand out. But you got to reach back. You got to reach back. And
what is that a picture of?
It's a fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it upside down, and I thought it was a fish looking like it's getting ready to chomp on some sort of bar.
Yeah, it's a fish chomping on a worm.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's at least I'm seeing it right.
Well, somebody we know, their dad's a commercial fisherman, and he's got cancer, and he's out on the water today. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Things are good.
Yeah, I wasn't diagnosed until I was in my 30s, and I didn't realize it. But looking back, even as a child, there would be days I would just be really down, and as I got older, I knew that 3 days I'd be fine, and as I got older, it'd be a little bit longer. And this would happen, maybe 3 days I'd be really down in a few months, and then those days got longer, and the times got shorter and closer together. And I mean, I really wish I had an easy answer. Even like today, we went to Barnes & Noble, and I love books and crafts and puzzles, and
it's like a playground for you. Yeah.
And I walked through that whole place, and nothing even looked remotely interesting. Some days are better than others, and
yeah, that's one of the things that depression does. It takes your joy in things, and that's where I find I'm not the type to just sit in bed and cry all day. My depression is sneaky. I just find that when I'm in the grip of it, the world has a lot less sparkle, and it's just sort of vanilla, sort of gray, and the things that normally really bring me joy.
That's what burns my ass. That's how a lot of mine is. It's like, there are things that I absolutely love doing, and when I'm excuse me, when I'm in the midst of an episode, it's like I'm just going through the motions, and I have no positive emotional response to anything.
It's just sort of like on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get excited about the stuff that I know I enjoy doing. I don't do the stuff I know I enjoy doing, because what's the fucking point?
Yeah, because you lose interest in it, even though you love to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's hard to...
And not having any energy really sucks, too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Ross? Well, we want to hear you, too.
I turned off his microphone.
Yeah.
You might as well. You're not going to speak. You're just going to look at me. Okay. That's how we're going to roll.
Well, and something else that makes both anxiety and depression, because those are two sides of that same coin.
Oh yeah, they're all intertwined.
I mean, if you have one, you will have the other. That's maybe not at the same time, because that really sucks. But at some point, you will have the other one. But they manifest themselves differently in each person. Those are very much individual conditions.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a cold or it's not like the flu, where you've got these 3 symptoms and a blood test, and you got the flu. Mm-hmm. This is a very individual thing, and that also makes it very, very difficult to treat, because I'm talking about clinical depression. I'm not talking about situational depression. It's a physical manifestation, but a lot of the treatment is mental. You know,
I mean,
you have drugs that do what drugs are supposed to do, unless you're on multiples, in which case they don't. But whatever. But the treatment is as individual as the condition.
Absolutely. I mean, and I don't think for anybody that just taking a pill is enough. I get a lot of people that seem to go, well, I'm taking my medicine. Well, okay, that's like where we start. Mm-hmm. You know, I think, you know, and I know that it is very individual. For me, the things that work are accountability. I have to set. I mean, I make up responsibilities and roles so that I always have a plan. And because I find if I'm just sitting there and I don't have a plan, I feel adrift. Mm-hmm. And I'm not like a planner to the fact that I have to plan meticulously. I just have to know where my day is supposed to go. And
that having accountability is a much bigger thing than people think it is.
Yeah, if I didn't
because like if you know that these people are relying on me to do X
right
today, then you have the accountability and you've got a roadmap to at least complete that.
Because you might not get out of bed for you, but I might not. But I find if I owe something to someone, mm-hmm. they need me to do something, or I will get out of bed to do that for them because I like to nurture. I take care of people, so I'm not so interested in nurturing myself, but I'll make sure the people I have responsibilities to are okay. So you have to know yourself and know what will make you get up, because you got to get up.
Yeah, because if you don't,
you're gonna get up.
If you don't, you're just gonna lay in bed and wait to die.
You know,
and that is an unfortunate reality, but it is
you can
the
take
reality.
All the pills, and if you need to take pills, take the pills. I take the pills. Can't function without the pills. But taking the pills is the first step. You got to get up. You got to have a plan. You got to have a purpose in life. I think that's a bigger component than a lot of people want to realize.
Yes.
We're not meant to just exist. Everybody needs a purpose. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be a purpose that makes sense to you or...
Well, and it doesn't have to be a purpose that's going to change the world.
All it has to do is be a purpose. I don't care if you're living so your cat has better life. You know, like, I've got to do these things so my cat can have the finest... I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fine. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
And, you know, I was reading a thing on Facebook that's like, you know, people that are depressed, they say you can't live for somebody else, you got to live for yourself. I call horseshit on that. I don't care who you're living for. I just want you to live. I just want you to live. I just want you, you know, because I feel like if you throw yourself into life, it sort of starts to sneak up on you the same way the depression does, and you find, I'm starting to get in a rhythm. I'm starting to live. I'm starting to... Now, I'm not saying, I'm not stupid. I know that things are going to knock you down. But when you got that purpose, you got that plan, it is so much easier to stay up. Mm-hmm. Nothing happens when you give up.
Well, you know what? And I've had several friends that have, in other words, said basically, I've been down for so long, I don't know where to even start. And I've told them all, get up.
That's step one.
That you have to do that. Get up, you know, set a time. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter what it is. Don't fucking plan to get up at 2 p.m. But
low bar.
Yeah, I know. But you know, set your alarm clock for 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. And get your ass out of bed, and that is win number one.
You've done something, and you've accomplished it.
Yep, you set a goal, you've achieved it. Mark that in the win column. Step number 2, go brush your teeth. They don't have to be, you need wins. a friend of mine, she said that she feels like this was years ago.